How's it going, guys? Shape here, and welcome to the channel. This video is going to be a follow-up to another video of mine that went over theory crafting the best items to craft with the relics that focused on tailoring items. I believe there's huge gold making potential with all of the vendor shuffles, and the quicker you guys jump on it, the more profit you can potentially make in the end. With covering the relics topic so much lately, a lot of you have asked me to cover all of the professions of what the best items are to craft with that certain profession. Well, now since we could finally copy over a character in the PTR and it looks like that bug was fixed, I have been able to do some more theory crafting and crunch some numbers. Now it's looking like we still have some time before the pre-patch does hit, and there hasn't been any changes on the PTR in terms of the relic prices, so this is exciting news because, like I said, I have really invested quite a lot of time and gold into this being a thing. Before we get too excited, this still could change and crush all of our dreams, but that's the whole point of theory crafting and doing a little bit of gambling. Just to give you guys some perspective again, I was able to get a lot of my materials for very cheap because I started stockpiling as soon as the vendor shuffle was discovered. Right now I'm sitting on a little over 300,000 of raw materials to create the relics of the past, so I'm not just telling you guys to do this, I'm all in as well. I was able to scoop up Tempest Hide, Rune Cloth, Deep Sea Satin, and Netherweave Cloth for around 50 silver or less. I have continued to monitor all the markets I am in and scoop up anything under a gold to keep adding to my stockpile. Those are the materials I am going to use to craft my relics of the past, but with everyone knowing about this method, I wanted to go over current prices and what to be on the lookout for. I also wanted to go over what items are going to be the most profitable for you guys to craft and how much time per item it is going to take you, since I haven't covered this aspect yet on all the different professions. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to cover the leatherworking items since I covered the tailoring items in a previous video. If you guys missed that one and are interested in seeing some of the best items for tailoring, then here is the link to that video. I will be covering the best items for blacksmithing in a future video, and it will be linked here as well. I now wanted to share with you guys the results I was able to find for which leatherworking items is the most profitable to craft based on the materials needed. I know that different materials cost different things on every server, so this is going to be server dependent and why I wanted to include all of the items even if it wasn't profitable for me on my server. For light leather, the best item to craft is going to be the embossed leather vest. These require the cheapest amount of materials in order to craft for all of the light leather recipes. In order to craft them, they need 8 light leather and 4 coarse thread that puts it a total cost of about 16 gold on my server. The vendor price is a little over 47 gold, which means minus the cost of the relic, your profit is going to be a little over 31 gold. The craft time is 2 seconds per craft, and the 2-second craft time for the relic totals out to 4 seconds per item. The relic cast time used to be 10 seconds for a relic 5, so this is an extremely good improvement, and on the most recent PTR patch it was still this way, so I think that change is here to stay. Now again, I am excluding the cost of the relic because they're going to differ for everyone, because if you started stockpiling at the beginning versus now, your relic cost would be much cheaper, so if you just want to add the relic cost into your total profit, but the result in the end will be the same since it will drop the profit by the same amount on all these items. For the rest of these items, I'm just going to go over the item itself and the cost of it since I think you guys get the gist on how the calculations were done. The best item to craft for medium leather is going to be the chain hauberk. The overall profit is a little over 27 gold, but instead takes 10 seconds to craft. That is a huge difference than the 2 seconds from the first item was to craft, so you want to keep that in mind to maximize your time and efforts in the end. The best item to craft for heavy leather is going to be the heavy scale pants. The overall profit is actually negative on my server because the price of heavy leather is so high. This could be different on your server, so just keep in mind that the cheapest item to craft for the heavy leather is the heavy scale pants because it requires the least amount of materials. They also take 10 seconds to craft each item, so that's another setback for this one as well. The next item is the Nightscape tunic, which requires thick leather to make. The overall profit is a little under 21 gold for these on my server. However, the cast time is going back down, so it will make this faster to create each time at only 4 seconds, and on my server we're starting to see a profit again. The best item to craft for rugged leather is the wicked leather bracers. I say best lightly here because rugged leather didn't really have any good options because a lot of the items for rugged leather weren't able to have relics of the past inserted into them, and even if they did, the materials required were extremely expensive. Even with crafting the item that requires the least materials, I still saw huge negative profits for this one. If you can get rugged leather pretty cheap on your server, you might still be able to make a profit on these, but you can only sell them to a vendor for a little over 25 gold, so the margins are going to be pretty tight anyway. Our next item to craft requires knotthide leather, and you want to craft the thick Dranic pants. Again, on my server we are seeing a negative profit, so I won't be focusing on this one if the prices stay the same for the cost of the leather. The best item to craft for Borean leather is going to be the Iceborne chest guards. Unfortunately for me, the cost of leather on my server is too high, and I would see a negative return on investment here again. If you can get Borean leather cheap or have a lot of it, then the Iceborne chest guards will be your go-to in terms of least materials needed to craft an item and get the most profit back. Savage leather is also in the same boat as the last few items we have gone over on at least my server. If you can get savage leather for cheap, craft the dark brand chest guards to get the most profit back. The best item to craft for exotic leather is going to be the mist hide leggings. Not as negative of a return for me, but still a no-go on my server right now. Finally, we start to see some positive profits when we get into the stone hide leather. The best item to craft with stone hide leather is going to be the war hide shoulder guards. Make sure you have rank 3 so your material costs are lessened. I know this is a popular vendor shuffle currently in the game, and now with the relics it will increase the price even more. Not too much of a profit right now, but at least we got out of the negative profit margins. Next on our list is coarse leather. The coarse layer cestus are the item you will want to choose for this leather. The overall profit is a little over 12 gold and will take you 2 seconds to craft each of the items. Last but not least, we have another popular vendor shuffle item. The shimmer scale strikers are actually going to vendor more with the relic of the past than they do currently vendor for now. I only included the green quality item price, so if you get the blue quality item it will be even more of a profit. If it stays true to what we are seeing now, you will proc the blue quality about 15% of the time. The overall profit was a little over 12 gold and will take you 2 seconds to craft each of the items. Now with all that said, if you have watched my tailoring's best items to craft already, you will notice a lot more negative profits with the leather items. That is because a lot of the cloth was a lot cheaper than the leather to begin with. That doesn't mean you still can't make gold off doing the leatherworking vendor shuffles, but it might be easier to do the tailoring vendor shuffles and be more cost effective. Now if you have a ton of leather saved up or you can get it for pretty cheap, this can still be viable, and you now know what the cheapest items to craft for each leather are. That means the most profitable item that we can craft on my server is the embossed leather vest. This is where you guys will have to plug and chug these numbers based on the prices on your server to get the most profitable item for you. I will add this Google Sheet to my Discord server for you guys to use, and you can just make a copy of it. If you already have the link for the tailoring one, then it will just be under the leatherworking tab now. If you only change the current leather cost column with your server price, the sheet should automatically update with your current profits. I plan on really diving into blacksmithing over the next couple of days and hope to have those best items to craft with blacksmithing up for you guys soon. I do expect blacksmithing to have similar results as leatherworking because a lot of the materials are higher cost, which means lower profits in the end, but I still think it's worth looking into for science. Well, there you have it guys, a little theory crafting to get you guys excited for the potential gold making methods come pre-patch. I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe and drop a like if you enjoyed the video to show some love for the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.